Now, I'm sure that you are getting this concern more and more as load shedding rolls out across the country. Christelle, what do I do with my appliances?
I think first and foremost, what we need to understand is that we've actually started picking up the claims already. The claims volumes have increased quite dramatically. And appliances, yes, that's your first and foremost. Your concern is as a result of power surges, your electrical equipment can be quite severely affected, from televisions to cell phones being left on charge. Just be practical. Think about the implications. Unplug your electronic equipment if you don't want to spend money on power surge protectors, because those get damaged when the power surge comes through in any event. Make sure that you don't leave your items on charge. I want to give you an example of something that happened. We actually picked up quite a large fire claim. The lady was busy blow drying her hair. Load shedding took place. She left the home because it was extended and didn't realize the hairdryer was actually still on, and the house caught on fire, and it was a very large claim. So we have to take ownership of this problem and make sure that we practice good risk management around the load shedding issue.
Now, of course, you can always contact your insurer if you have questions or concerns. What are the type of concerns that your insurance firm are dealing with from your clients in light of load shedding?
Well, first and foremost, people are concerned about damage to the electronic equipment. The biggest claim that we've had in the recent months as far as power surges is concerned is here in Cape Town, 750,000 Rand. Audiovisual equipment, the home was, it's built-in audiovisual equipment. The power came back on and the surge went through, and it blew up the whole system. So people are concerned about the electronic equipment, power surge protection, and then of course the whole issue around the alarm systems. They're going away on holiday. We've got a number of clients who actually live in Europe and in Cape Town. They do the swallow thing. What happens if the alarm doesn't switch back on after the electricity comes back on? How will we handle that sort of situation? And if your insurance company can't give you a definitive approach on how they're going to handle those claims, then it's time to shop around, because it's a risk that we definitely face.
Now, what do you say to the new client who approaches you and says, I need to take out an insurance policy, but in light of our country's load shedding problem, what guidance do you give them? Where do we even start?
Well, we haven't changed anything in our policy cover. I mean, we've been aware of the impact of load shedding since it started how many years ago, and we've decided to keep the cover in place and accept clients as if it's an existing risk. Time will tell. If we are going to look at a 3-4 year extended period where we've got major claims, and it might result in premium increases on certain covers, for instance, power surge claims. So it's difficult to say at this point in time, but for now, we're saying take precautions, practice as if you don't have insurance, act as if you don't have insurance, and protect your family. Make sure that you're safe at home, and do the little things: unplug the electronic goods, install burglar bars, check your alarm battery, and try and make your property safe during these times.
Christelle, I want you to take us through the practical steps. You've touched on them, but let's go through them in more detail on what we need to do for scheduled load shedding, because of course we can all check the schedule and know when our area is going to be without electricity. So once you walk into your home in preparation for load shedding, what do you do?
Well, first and foremost, make sure that your electronic goods are charged. If you have got no alarm system, you must be able to at least phone the alarm company to come out if something is wrong. Make sure your laptop and all those items are charged, and prepare for that. Very important to make sure that your backup alarm battery is checked and in working condition. Those batteries aren't made to be triggered all the time, but what's happening at the moment is every day it's triggered through load shedding. So it's running the battery off. It's almost like your cell phone battery, lasting for shorter and shorter periods of time. Have the batteries replaced if it's not working properly. And then just make sure that if it's at night, that you've got emergency lighting. So again, I would not advise using candles, because that just leads to an increased fire risk. Have your solar lights charged. Those lights are a fantastic way of having lighting at night. Leave them outside during the day, bring them in at night. Flashlights, and again, your cell phone to use as a light. And then make sure that you've got all your emergency numbers close by so that you can phone if something goes wrong. And then another practical piece of advice is just keep your windows closed and your doors locked, so that people can't get into your property without you being aware of it. So just be practical about it.